All right, Nexus Heroes, welcome to Nexus Gaming Series. This is Season 14. I am your host, your caster, your MC, your best friend, theStroke, and I will be with you hopefully for 3 maps tonight as we check out some Division C West Round 5 action. Red Dragons versus Roll1Esports. While we get into it, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the standings for those two teams in Division C West. Maps currently being created right now. So checking out Roll1Esports sitting in third place, tied for first with 10 points. And Red Dragons at number 10 in the division with 2 points. So looking for the upset from Red Dragons here, but not sure if they've missed any matches or anything like that. But Roll1 sitting right at the top of the division there, so we'll see if they're able to continue their dominance or if they are going to run into a little road bump as we move forward here. As the lobby is getting created, just did a little bit of research on Roll1 and kind of some of their quick. If this is the first time over in my channel for a stream, thanks for joining. Always appreciate having you guys on board as a cast. The more you guys cheer for your favorite teams in the chat, the more you guys get to talking, the better off I'll be, the easier you'll make my job. So, yeah, hook a brother up. All right, now let's take a look. All right, taking a look at the stats here. This is the guy you're going to have to watch out for if you are Red Dragons. Poe, playing that assassin carry role. And he's got a 67% win rate, 92% kill participation, and he's the one that pumps out the big numbers for his team. 53,000 average damage per match. So this is the guy that they're going to have to take care of if the Red Dragons want to win. All right, lobby is getting set up, and we are going to take a look real quick at what happened in the map draft. So to start, we had Red Dragons winning the coin toss, and they elected to go with the first pick. So Roll1 had the selection of map here. So initially they banned out Braxis Holdout and Volskaya Foundry. Definitely some complex maps there that can easily snowball. So not something you want a team to pull out some cheeky strategy on you. So I get those bans. And then Red Dragons going over with the ban of Dragonshire and Towers of Doom. So now we will be heading over to Alteric Valley as Roll1 picked that as the first map of this match. Some pretty cool stuff there. And like I said, I casted Roll1, I believe was my first cast of this season. They played an excellent match, and they're fun to watch. So this is going to be yeah, sorry. I had some weird issue with the scene that I added. Didn't have audio on it. Let me know if you can hear me now. But that scene where I was highlighting Poe didn't have audio on it. But I think we got it taken care of. Hopefully. No, you tell me, man. T.S. Smith. He's a Red Dragons fan. He wants them to pick up the W. Who knows? Maybe he is a Red Dragon. So far, it looks like Roll1 is got some members eating some food, getting ready for the game. Your NGS regular Mongoose will be featured in this match. And we are just getting this map set up. If you are in the chat watching this match tonight, NGS Season 14, thanks for joining. This is, I think this is my fourth or fifth cast this season. I'm getting back into it after a long hiatus of having 2 children. But yeah, HOTS, it's not dead. It's awesome to see this community, NGS, just continue to grow no matter how much Blizzard tries to murder it and bury it alive. We won't go down. So it's definitely cool to see this community thriving as we continue this journey. Thanks for joining me as always. I will remind you that if you do like what you hear and see tonight, not necessarily the gameplay, because that's not on me, if you don't mind, hit that like button and let you know when I go live streaming HOTS games or playing Destiny or Heroes of the Storm. And big exciting news after tonight, I should make Twitch affiliate, so that'll be pretty cool. But anyways, thank you for the support. Enough about me, and we are still waiting on this lobby to get created. We are headed to Alteric Pass, if you can, in case you missed it. First map selected by Roll1Esports. Going over to Alteric Pass. All right, looks like we got all members of all teams in here. Real quick before we get started, everyone's grabbing water. Maybe I should do the same, but we'll just take a look real quick at the big teams' standings. So Red Dragon's sitting at the bottom of the division, but looking to make some moves here. They can definitely do that by taking out Roll1 tonight. Roll1 sitting tied for first place with 10 points. Keep in mind this is excluding any sort of results from that have already happened this week. But yeah, hopefully we get to check out some 3-game action tonight. But let us know in the chat, what do you guys think? Who's gonna take this? Is Roll1 gonna roll with it, or are Red Dragons gonna get the upset? T.S. Smith, thank you for the follow. You're awesome. All kinds of support coming from the NGS community. All right. Everyone seems to have their water prepared. We might actually start a Heroes of the Storm game tonight. Right now, they're currently discussing the importance of staying hydrated, which I can agree with. But, let's just start playing the game. Just kidding, boys. You do you, boys and girls. And we'll just wait to watch this excellent Heroes of the Storm action. Chat, let us know how you're enjoying Nexus Gaming Series Season 14. I had, like I said, I took a big hiatus, and then I am playing with some people who are brand new to the game over in Division E West. So far, it has been a learning experience for them, but we'll get a win before this season's over. Mark my words. All right, we're getting readies in the chat. We might be starting some video games here shortly. All right, let's get the show on the road, they say. Red Dragons, Roll1Esports, Division C West. And let's get into the draft. All right. First ban is going to be going over to Red Dragons. If we can take a look at some stats for these banned heroes. Stukov banned out first by Red Dragons. Taking a look at Stukov in Division C this season. He's got a 27% pick rate with a 48% win rate. He gets banned out quite a bit. Easy heals, excellent CC. He's got that silence and the root if you play it. Deathwing, the next band for Roll1. Always tough to deal with on this map. Doesn't get a whole lot of action, but he's got a 56% win rate. Gets banned 5% of the times, probably on big maps like this. All right, next band going over to Red Dragons. We'll see what they decide to take out. Maybe a Johanna Thrall. Wondering if that's a target ban. Thrall doesn't get a whole lot of action, 12% with only a 39% win rate. That might be the first ban. Maybe one other one this season. And final ban of the first round of bans going over to Roll1. Who's it going to be? Blaze? Garrosh. Interesting. Okay. So Garrosh, there's the stats down there. Not too much of a threat these days, but... well. All right, first pick, Johanna. Going over to Lifscutoria. That's going to be a tough one. Maybe Lifskew is what we'll go with. All right, next picks going over to Roll1 with their matching names, except for Mongoose, who's too cool for that stuff. Anduin and Chromie. Very nice. Poe picking up that Chromie as we showed in the pregame. Dangerous with that type of damage. All right, two more picks going over to Red Dragons. We'll see what their answer is. And need a healer. Brightwing and Falstad. Multiple globals. Interesting. All right, last round of bans going out for both of these teams. Who's it gonna be? I'd almost ban out Dahaka if I were Red Dragons. Kael'thas. Doesn't get picked a whole lot, but still rocking a 44% win rate in Division C with a 4% ban rate. Tends to be more of a issue in ARAM. All right, last ban for the Red Dragons as we finish out this draft. Stitches. Definitely a scary hero to play against, especially when there's point control going on. All right, Hogger for Zad. And Anubrak for Rock Your World. All right, last two picks for the Red Dragons. Going over to Luna Ursa and Jacobia. Ragnaros and the Tychus. All right, we'll keep an eye out for any swaps here. Nova, one more time for Mongoose. He's spamming her this season. I think he played her 2 games last time I casted for this team. Well, there you have it, folks. It's going to be an interesting fight. The globals should help out on Alteric Pass, but I do think Roll1 is going to be putting out a lot of damage, burst damage with the CC follows. All right, and let's get into our first game. Red Dragons versus Roll1 Esports Division C West. This is Season 14 Nexus Gaming Series. We're about halfway through the season. Teams getting their flex matches planned. And, yeah, we're about halfway there. So if this was baseball, we'd be having an all-star break. Solely based on comps, I'm gonna give it to Roll1, but we'll see. All right, for the blue team, we have Thales on Fostad, Lifskew, Toria on Johanna, Lunar Ursa on the Ragnaros, Jacobia on Tychus, and Dizzy on Brightwing. For the red team, Rock Your World on Anubarak, Janubia on Anduin, Mongoose playing the Nova again, Poe on Chromie, and Zad playing Hogger. Here we go. 3 seconds to start. Remember the big things to remember on this map? Spam those camps. Spam those knolls. All right. Chromie looking to go Q build, as well as Falstad. Rock Your World posturing down here in the bottom part of the map. It looks like all part of these teams are going to be avoiding fights. Lifskew goes in. Just some general skirmishing going on. Ragnaros immediately goes to the top lane. We'll see if his team warms him that Hogger's leaving. Zad shows up in time to get his experience, and teams start to rotate to pick up their experience. Keep in mind, at 1 minute in, these null camps are going to be spawning in, so we'll see how these teams respond to that. The general decent strategy is to span those null camps and then try to take out the middle 2 forts to start the match. Nova up here in the top lane, Jacobia playing it safe. And immediately Hogger heads down to the null camp as Falstad does the same for Red Dragons. Right. And this is what we're going to see a lot of today, folks. Anubrak posturing maybe to get a gank on Jacobia. Maybe just kind of scouting it out. Lifskew goes in, mostly just clearing minions, but lets Poe know, hey, I see you. Does take on the time trap. Immediate trait there. Thales does fly in top lane. And it looks like there was a slight null advantage for Red Dragons, but they're basically meeting in the middle on that little tiny bridge. Null's already cleared out for the most part for Red Dragons. Lifskew does take a root, but pops the trait once more. And Zad just continues to soak experience, put pressure in the top lane. We do have a skirmish break down here in the middle lane. Lifskew's getting rather low. Rock Your World goes in for the stun, gets 2 members of Red Dragons, and they got to back off with low health. And now we are going to be looking at the first objective pop up. We should see these null camps pop up sometime as this fight starts. Maybe miss some experience here in the middle for Red Dragons. Roll1 already getting a head start, posturing, getting themselves set up for this objective. And we see Hogger already getting ready for this null camp. 10 seconds on that. Jacobia's got to be really careful here. He might not know how much danger he's in. This objective tends to be one of the more snowbally ones, powerful ones in all of Heroes of the Storm. So this camp is going to enable them to be able to get that objective, as eventually Red Dragons is going to have to respond. Okay, now we see Thales going down here to pick up their camp. Let's see if he's able to clear that out. Jacobia's got to be extremely careful. He's all by himself. Rock Your World tries to start channeling, just gets interrupted by a Tychus grenade. Lunar Ursa is going to take a little bit of damage from Chromie, but camp picked up by Hogger, who's going to go up to the top lane, start picking up that wave of experience before heading down for a team fight. All right, both camps going into the middle. We'll see who responds first. Anubarak channeling. Gets interrupted by the meatball, so takes a decent chunk of damage. Zad is able to peel off of him. Tychus is ate about half of Anubarak's health in a few seconds. Lifskew is getting low as well. Hogger continues to do Hogger things. And we're starting to see a slight experience gap, but Brightwing is down here doing her thing, so. All right. So far, we're sitting at a pretty good stalemate. Red Dragons was able to clear out the null camp faster, but then kind of didn't capitalize on the objective. Brightwing might see two members down here. She should possibly port in, and they can pick up the objective, but she would be leaving it, and there she does. She doesn't leave a whole lot of experience on the table. Lifskew is going to be pushing aggressively, knowing that two members of Roll1 are gone. We'll see the rotation in from Poe and Waneba. Waneba. Know what I mean? Jacobia tries to channel. He's going to get left behind. Nova slows in, followed up by stuns from Rockier World, and he's going to go down. His team just left him. Poor guy. All right, you see what I mean? Spamming these null camps, because it's going to happen all day long. All right, first channel goes over to the side of Roll1, and Lunar Ursa is also in trouble as he gets slowed by a pinning shot by Mongoose, and he's going to get zoned out by Hogger. Another kill for the side of Roll1Esports. 11,000 damage already for Nova. 8 seconds left for the objective achievement here. And we should see the first wave of the objective going over to Roll1. Already missing those towers in the center fort as Knolls are pushing. So now you see the kind of the power of that camp. As this objective pushes, I imagine they're going to get this fort relatively easily. Zad taking a ton of damage from Tychus and Thales. He's able to get out of there, gets healed up from Anduin. All right, so typically you see a 1-3-1, both on offense and defense on this map. But we've got 4 members for Rock Your World up here in the top lane, or in mid lane. Oh, Cocoon goes out onto Johanna, but it gets traded. I'm not sure if that actually got used or not. We are going to see Orbital Strike from Nova, and there it goes on Lifskew. Ragnaros pops his trait in the top lane as Nova backs off there. All right, they are able to maintain and protect this middle fort. Brightwing's got to be careful. She's getting aggressively rotated on. She is going to get stunned out. We'll see if Rock Your World gets aggressive here with his beetles. Red Dragons also rotates aggressively, but Rock Your World has himself in a decent position to escape out of there. All right, so a solid defense from Red Dragons as they are able to maintain all 3 of their forts. Guess where Hogger's going? If you're new to this game, just follow his lead. Keep getting those camps. It's just a lot of fun. It's a great map. Ragnaros heading down to pick up that camp as well as most of the team. Nova just scouting, making sure boss not being picked up. Lifskew down here, just picking up experience. So far, it's been a relatively tame match. A couple of gank kills for Roll1Esports. But mostly strategic and pretty slow. And that's just a team player Nova right there. Getting up there, getting the experience. Not just focusing on shooting people with a sniper. All right. Pressure down here in the bottom lane. We'll see if Red Dragons is able to respond. Rock Your World is probably going to rotate as well. Dizzy's got to be careful if he stuns him, but he's all right. And Hogger continuing up here in the top lane. Oh, he does miss his barrel there. Takes a little bit of damage from the fort, but nothing crazy. All right, next objective on the spawn. A lot of pressure down here in the bottom lane. They may lose this fort right before the objective, which would be not super fun. Falstad does fly in. We'll see if he gets some damage. He's going to gust them into the team. Lifskew is... Light Bomb goes out onto Anduin. He's able to stun out Johanna. The Falling Sword does go down, but I feel like Blessed Shield would have had both of those heroes dead there. 2 ults used on the side of Red Dragons, but they're going to continue to stay aggressive here as they push towards the objective, knowing that somebody is probably getting a camp. And we'll see if Jacoby is able to channel. Bed of Barbs here is great for Anubarak because it prevents them from channeling. Tychus is starting to get pretty low, not doing a whole lot of damage himself, and he's going to have to get a phase shift in from Brightwing, who does just in the nick of time. Chromie, Poe is just sitting here doing what Chromie excels at on this map. She's just going to be able to forever stall this if she separates her abilities long enough. This is the power of having that middle fort on this map, because you can forever stall with people like Chromie, Li Ming. Mongoose taking a ton of damage from Jacobia. He's able to get out of there with his life, but members of both teams getting extremely low. Lifskew is going to have to get out of there before he takes a snipe to the face, and now you see the camp and why that is such an important part of this map, because while that whole fight was happening, it seemed like nobody's really winning, when in fact Roll1Esports is winning because they're getting a fort from that camp. Brightwing getting low here. If she gets stunned by Anubarak, she may be not long for this world. She does use her ult to get rock your world off of her, but that ult's going to be gone, and they're most likely going to get this bottom fort down. As you see in the top lane, Ragnaros just continues to focus his ult on this top. And now we see up here in the middle lane, instead of catapults on this map, you get this big ol', I'm not sure what he's called, but he's not a catapult. More of a melee damage dealer. Alright, camp's pushing for both teams, meeting in the middle once again. Lifskew goes in. Clears out the minion waves. Now just kind of focusing on the camp. Tychus putting damage out on Rock Your World. Jacobia taking a lot of damage from the Chromie W. And Red Dragons is going to back out of there. Rock Your World is going to get aggressive, go in here. Falling Sword comes out, able to get the stun onto... Oh, Anubarak goes down right before he gets the cocoon out. And 1 kill to none for Red Dragons in this fight. This is awesome. They need to get aggressive here, start pushing, and Poe is going to just set up shop. Well, let's count how many delays he gets. 1, 2. Okay. So he did miss 1 Q. Red Dragon's able to pick up the objective, and we'll see if they're able to defend it. Anubarak is up in 6 seconds. Jacobia getting very low from Chromie W's. "20 seconds left for them to finish out this objective. Anubarak is on his way. At this point, they might just defend this with their lives. Stun goes out onto Dizzy. She may have to use her ult. She's getting very low, gets taken out by an Anduin W. All that being said, Red Dragons is able to pick up the objective. All right. Lifskew getting stunned out by the Anubarak, gets killed by Chromie. You do see a little bit of danger here in the top lane with this fort being low and Ragnaros clearing out those minions. We are dead even basically in experience. Nova is not going to be able to stop this fort from going down. Only 2 members alive for Red Dragons, so they're just going to kind of have to bank on the objective getting a little pushing done, but they're missing out on experience and not getting a whole lot of pressure aside from the top lane. But opportunity cost, they did prevent Roll1 from picking up the objective, which would have been bad because they're missing some forts. Top lane hanging on by a sliver. And Red Dragons begin to regroup in the middle. Nova doing her darndest to clear out that camp, and Zad is already ready for that camp. All right, we see a boss play up here in the top lane. It's one of the tougher bosses to pick up if you get a rotation in. They do have Gust, but it just takes so much damage to take this boss out that you can kind of steal this many times. Oh, and they're just a little too late. Looks like they weren't quite committed to the invade with Hogger getting the null camp. Now, what I like to see most teams do is avoid the double boss push. It's such a long way to rotate. It takes so long to kill the boss that this is where you see the invade happen pretty often. But they're going to go for it. Falstad doing an excellent job here of keeping at least one member of Roll1 occupied. Anubarak is going to head down here, so they do not have the Gust. If they get an opportune cocoon and some stuns, this could be an issue for Red Dragons, but Anubarak is going to be smart and kind of just back off. Boss stumps come out. Thales does fly in case he needed to Gust, and now they get the double boss play. So that's how it should look. I'll show you another highlight from a previous cast as to what it usually looks like with a throw. Bottom lane fort going down relatively quickly. Boss still has quite a bit of health as the third round of objectives spawns. We'll see what... Looks like Roll1 might be waiting for some stragglers. Cocoon goes out onto Dizzy. Immediate jump onto Tychus, who gets extremely low, but Nova just blows up Dizzy. And, yeah. When you start retreating and you see the enemy team kind of aggressively trying to posture on that retreat, just hang back for your stragglers. Oh. Johanna just gets blown up by all 3 Chromie W's. Leon Ballyster, welcome to the chat. They only wanted the top 4. Yeah, there you have it. It was a strategic move. Rock Your World picks up the objective channel. And now we've got 35 seconds for a tank to spawn. Not enough time to interrupt this, so we are going to have most likely the third objective going over to Roll1Esports. Tychus doing what he can to get them caught up on XP, but both teams at level 20. We do have the wind tunnel coming out for Falstad, so we'll see if that has any impact. Sitting at 46 stacks on Gathering Storm. 10 more seconds for this channel. We do see the rewind coming out for Anubarak and the second orbital cannon for Nova. Anubarak rewind can be so devastating at times. Liskew getting zoned out by Sands of Time. And here comes the push from Roll1Esports. Looks like Wind Tunnel might be coming in, but it completely misses and he gets just deleted. They were ready and waiting for that play. Oh, Cocoon goes out onto Dizzy. Brightwing may also be in trouble with Orbital Cannon. Oh, she does get Rock Your World away from her using her ult, who takes a ton of damage and gets blown up by Tychus and Ragnaros. Jacobia getting low as well. We'll see if he decides to use his trait. I'm not sure if he's popped it or not. Top lane taking a little bit of damage. This fort is almost gone. This keep. But they are able to maintain it as they head to the top and bottom lanes to clear out the remainder of the objective. So Tychus doing a whole lot of damage against Anubarak right now. It's pretty much his main focus. And the only reason Hogger's not getting this null camp is because he's dead. Look at these guys. Look at these little guys. All right, we have a interesting situation developing up here in the top lane. Two members of Rock Your World, Roll1Esports down, and this boss is going down very fast. Doesn't seem like we're getting much of a response from Roll1. It looks like their main strategy for tonight is to just focus on boss. All right, Roll1 setting up to get this boss cleared out as Ragnaros puts his lava wave in the center. Take a look at how much damage it does to those gnolls. They don't care. Honey Badger don't care. And already posturing, heading down to the bottom lane for boss, who's not up for another 5 seconds. This boss is almost gone. Little bit concerning. We'll see what happens here. This could be some action. Thales coming in. Might not have any idea where Rock Your World is. They might just be focusing on the objective, which they are. Thales flies into the boss. Make sure nothing cheeky happens in that arena. And channel goes over to Roll1Esports for this last, most likely last and final objective as this gets very powerful as we push through here. All right, Lifskew taking just tons of frontline damage from the Chromie. Jacobia does get the channel. The boss is pushing on the bottom lane. And now Roll1 is going to have to make a decision. Do we team fight this for the objective? Oh, Cocoon goes out onto the tank. They dive in on Tychus, who gets deleted, and now Anubarak is going to have free reign as this fight continues. He doesn't have to worry about that Tychus damage, and Jacobia taking a lot of backline damage from Zad. Two members... Oh, right wing goes down. No more heals for members of Red Dragons, and 3 members down. This boss should not be able to take out the core, and we'll see if we get... Nope, no core push coming from Roll1. Roll1 elects to just ignore the boss and focus on the objective. It will be very hard to defend against a level 23-minute objective at this point for Red Dragons, but so far they played the map strategically well. Just not a whole lot of kills and kind of getting ganked by that Anubarak chain stun. All right, 8 seconds for the remainder of this progress bar. Going over to the Horde for the Horde. Chat, let me know. Alliance or Horde? I gotta know. All right. Oh, this Cocoon dive onto the backline doesn't quite work this time, and now Johanna is going to be in an interesting position to try to force some damage out onto members of Roll1Esports. Red Dragons elect to back off. Jacobia pops his trait pretty early. They're going to delete this push pretty quickly, so that's an excellent win for them. And now they just need to defend the remaining 2 keeps, or at least take their damage or their health down enough to make them a non-factor for the core, all while not dying. We do see trait popped out for lift skew on Johanna. He's taking a lot of damage in that objective. He's probably going to go down. He does. Just too much damage to be sustained there. And now we are looking at the core push from Roll1Esports. Boss spinning to win. All 3 keeps down, dropping fast. Members of Roll1 all pretty healthy. Light Bomb goes out, gets 2 members deleted, and that should be the first map going over to Roll1Esports. Very nice endgame play right there. All right, that was over before you blinked there at the end. Pretty crazy. All right, let's check out some post-game stats. Chromie. We highlighted Poe in the beginning, but damn, 91,000 damage. Poe, just like I said, you gotta deal with him if you plan on winning, because he's just gonna be putting on the hurt. 3-0, both damage dealers for Roll1, no deaths, and yeah, it's hard to sustain through that much damage. I mean, even Hogger at 43,000. Pretty crazy. So 15 kills to 4 over on the side of Roll1Esports. And now, as we wait for our next map, let's just take a look at that Poe stats again. So there he is, the range carry type damage dealer, 67% win rate when they use him with a 16.8 KDA. He participates in 92% of all their kills, which is crazy. And averaging 53,000 damage. Well over that, almost 2 times that tonight on Chromie. So this is the dude that they're going to have to answer for if Red Dragons wants to win the next game. All right, let's check out who we want. Or what map we're going to next. All right, looks like Red Dragons is going to elect to get first pick, so Roll1 is going to be able to pick the map once again. Take a look at that first, or the map draft here. So some of the more fun maps banned out, which is a little bit sad, but we do have Battlefield of Eternity left. It'd be interesting to see a garden, but we will be heading to Tomb of the Spider Queen, picked by Roll1Esports. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to give Poe the MVP for that match, as the delays he was having on that objective were just cracking me up. But that's the power of keeping that middle fort up as long as you can on this map, on that Alteric Pass, as you can kind of just delay with Junkrat, Li Ming, Chromie, sort of inevitably. All right, lobby getting set up. As that happens, I'll take this chance to kind of highlight something that I think is pretty cool that you guys might like. So every Sunday at 9 p.m. Central Time, me and my buddies, we podcast at twitch.tv/OMG podcast, and we talk video games. That's One More Game podcast, and we get into some industry news every week, game releases coming up, game reviews, what we've been playing, suggestions for you, and then we take a look at what's on the horizon for gaming in general. And we also talk a major topic of the week, things like mental health in gaming, history of PlayStation, last week we talked toxicity in gaming, and we just kind of BS about that stuff and talk gaming. So if you want to check that out, you can do so on twitch.tv/OMG podcast, or you can watch One More Game or listen to One More Game podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever else you might find your podcasts. And that's it. I'll get off my soapbox there. But once again, thanks for joining us tonight for this Nexus Gaming Series Season 14 Division C West matchup. This is round 5, about halfway through the season, especially considering flex matches being played. And so far, we're looking at a 2-1 a 1-game-to-none advantage for Roll1Esports as I get that updated. All right. There's Poe there with a 418 KDA, 67% win rate, and he's only dead 3% of the time. That is for the whole season, by the way. Tia Smith says, I love my Red Dragons, but have to go Horde. Yeah. No qualms there, man. I could never go Alliance. Never. If my kids go Alliance, they're dead to me. I'm just kidding. That's terrible. All right, we're heading over to Tomb of the Spider Queen. Definitely a map where sustained fights tend to be pretty big. Camps are also important. Kind of a smaller map when it comes to rotations, so we tend to see more kills on the map. And we do have all members of the lobby in. There's Mongoose's stats there at the bottom. 318 KDA, so just a little bit behind Poe, and a 57% win rate. He's been dead for a whole lot longer, 1%. All right, we're getting some readies in the lobby, and we might be heading over shortly to the draft for Tomb of the Spider Queen. We running it back, they say. Gonna need to update one thing. Tomb of the Spider Queen. All right, into the draft we go. Whereas Red Dragons are going to be banning once again to start this off. Let's see if if we get any sort of target bans here. First ban over to Red Dragons. 20 seconds. Who's it going to be? Rhaegar banned out for the first time tonight. Deathwing once again for Roll1Esports. They just don't want to deal with that. You know what I mean? Next ban over to the side of Red Dragons. Nazebo can tend to excel on this map as he's able to rotate quickly, get to a lot of minions, get his stacks up pretty quick. And final ban of the round for Roll1Esports. Looking at Ragnar Rose. All right, first pick as selected by Red Dragons. They're going to go with the Johanna again for Lifscutoria. All right, 2 picks over to the side of Roll1, Stukov and Tassadar. We did see the Stukov banned out in the first round. And Tassadar for Zad. 2 picks over to the side of Red Dragons. We'll see what their game plan is to deal with that Tassadar damage. It's just maybe thinking multi-healer. Dizzy picks up Tyrande. And Thales is going to go with Orphea. High damage potential for both teams so far. I don't know if the Tyrande is going to be able to deal with the burst damage of Tassadar. So they may think about picking up another one, but we'll see. Tychus gets banned out. Rock Your World ain't having that for the rest of the night. And Diablo gets banned out by Red Dragons. 2 picks over to the side of Roll1. Let's see what they're masterminding over there. Masterminding? It's a verb. It's actually a gerund. Kel'Thas for Poe. Oh boy. And once again, a Nubarak for Rock Your World. Is Mongoose going to go with Nova once again? Will we see it? He did it last time I casted. All right, 2 picks over to the side of Red Dragons to round out their draft. Do we see more healing? I think they got to have it. Lunara for Lunar Ursa and Zul for Jacobia. All right. Zul rocking a 58% win rate here in Division C. Last pick going over to Roll1. Is it Nova? Leoric for Mongoose. All right. There you have it, folks. The draft for this Game 2 Division C West Nexus Gaming Series Season 14. Let me know in the chat, guys. Is this going to Game 3 or is this going to be a clean sweep for Roll1? No swaps to be had, and we are going to be heading to Tomb of the Spider Queen. While we wait for these folks to load in. I gotta say, I'm looking to pick up an observer because running stuff while you're moving your mouse around, I'm sure it's pretty hectic at times as you're watching. I don't think I missed any kills last time, but in my previous match I did. All right, for the blue team, Thales on Orphea, Lifscutoria on Johanna, Lunar Ursa on Lunara, Jacobia playing Zul, and Dizzy on Tyrande. For the opposite side, Rock Your World playing a Nubarak once again. Januba on Stukov, Mongoose on the Leoric, Poe on the Kel'Thas, and Zad playing Tassadar.
Battle begins in 10 seconds.
All right, we're going to be looking to see globes picked up from a Nubarak. Red Dragons all electing to not pick their first talents. There we go. Oh, Owl hits Rock Your World right in the face. That's a good omen. Good omen for Red Dragons tonight. And safety being valued. Rock Your World just dodges that Owl, but Januva takes it right in the lurking arm. Muscutoria gets damage out onto Anubarak, but Mongoose is able to start channeling his W on Lifskew. Zool, meanwhile, clears a wave out, and now we're going to see him doing what he does best and trying to get that double soak going on. He does have to be extremely careful. It is very quick to rotate on this map, and they do have a pretty good gank potential, so... An Anubarak Burrow followed by Impale, followed by Kel'Thas. Gravlaps is most certainly death for anyone. Oh, great stun going out by Anubarak to zone out members of Red Dragons. Looks like they were rotating to get a possible gank going. And Mongoose, look at that Owl dodge. He just felt something was wrong and just kind of sidestepped. We are seeing already 6 globes for Anubarak and Kel'Thas, and they're just going to focus on that early game. It definitely means that Red Dragons left a few behind, and now Zool's going to have to do something besides double soak top and mid, as they're just getting continued pressure by Mongoose down here in the bottom lane. Changing up the strategy. Let's see what these two teams decide to do. Stun goes out onto Lifskew. He'll be alright. Traits out of there. Camps being picked up by Rock Your World. Bone Prison goes out onto Mongoose, who's going to heal back up to about 75% health. And even on the experience soak, nothing is just harder to deal with than a undead janitor slapping you in the face with a wet mop. All right, Camp pushing into the mid lane for Roll1Esports. They are able to get some turn-ins going for their gems. 35-0 so far. Lifskew gets in there to try to clear this camp out. They do got to be careful for that zoning wall by Tassadar, but... All right, both teams almost have enough for the turn-in, and they... Red Dragons do have 50 gems amongst themselves. With Lifskew having 27, so he's got to be careful not to die. Or else this game is going to get painful early. Camp being cleared out by Roll1Esports. Thales barely gets out of there behind Tassadar wall. And now just looking for 10 more gems turned in for Roll1 to get this first objective onto their side. Jacobia just trying to delay Mongoose turn-in. Poe turning in 4. They're going to need 6 more. And looks like Red Dragons might just be letting them do that. Sometimes it's kind of good to let the first wave of spiders go to the other team, as they're pretty easy to clear out early game, but can also work against you if you don't respond correctly. And now we're seeing 4 members of Roll1 focused into the top lane. One strategy we see when we get the first wave of spiders is to focus the top lane, because the boss spawns in the top lane, and that's kind of your win condition. But it looks like we are getting a little spread going on. Nobody defending in the center for Red Dragons. Looks like they're electing to stay as a four-man. Jacobia having a little bit of an issue clearing out this bottom wave of spiders. And they might end up losing this middle keep. Sun grab lapse goes out onto Lunara, who gets healed back up to full. Fort dangerously low. Anubarak goes in onto Lifskew. I don't know if his trade is up. Rock Your World taking a ton of damage from Tyrande and gets killed by the Lunar Flare as well as Tassadar by Lunara. They do end up losing the fort in the process, but 2 kills to nothing on the side of Red Dragons. That should allow them to get their turn-in done relatively quickly, and they also have enough immediately following that if they're able to do that. Quick to get the bottom camp before they turn in, so we get spiders pushing along with giants in the bot lane. Zul's got to be careful here. If he gets grab laps, probably going to be done. Skis. He's nice and safe on the rotation. He heads up to the top lane, and 4 members of Red Dragons push bottom. Kel'Thas working to clear out the mid lane. Lifskew is going to be using his trait, get some damage out onto Mongoose, who doesn't seem to care. There you see that burst damage coming out from Zad. Working to get this tower removed. Spider down to about 25% health. Oh, big damage going out on the Lifskew from that lurking arm. And so far, Roll1 doing an excellent job defending this tower, or this fort. All right. Web goes out onto Orphea. She could be in a dangerous spot. Force wall keeps her from... Oh, she got her Q off just in time to dash out of there, but she's taking a ton of damage. She is able to heal up from her auto attack. And Stukov is able to force that fight to be complete. I don't know how Thale survived, but Johanna died in the process. That is kind of a nasty combo. They get the cocoon, followed by the silence by Stukov. Not to mention, oh, he's got to be careful. He loses 30 gems here. He's going to be not very happy about it. Yep. Stun is going to pick him up, but he'll get out of there just barely. Johanna's back up, and looks like Red Dragons is just going to focus on picking up some camps, playing it safe. As Roll1 doesn't quite have enough gems for the turn-in. Too shy. This is the slowest camp pickup ever. All right. Roll1 elects to allow Red Dragons to get the next turn-in. So that's 2 spider waves in a row. For things moving in the right direction for Red Dragons. They elected to push bottom lane last time. Didn't get a whole lot of progress. This top fort is about halfway gone. Spiders being cleared out in the middle lane by Roll1. Just 5 members. Focusing on that. And they are going to have a aggressive rotation here to just try to go right after these backliners, most likely. Red Dragons plays it safe. They are going to be able to get this fort. Probably not much more. There it goes. Looks like they're a little timid when it comes to fighting, which I can understand. Trait popped for Johanna. The force wall barely misses. She gets out of there no problem. Lifskew still sitting at pretty high health, but Roll1 does have enough gems to get the turn in here, and I don't imagine you would want to just let that happen if you're Red Dragons. 3 members for Roll1 up here in the top lane. Rock Your World getting 2 turned in the top egg. Yeah, it looks like they're just going to kind of let them turn in. It's interesting. So bold strategy, Cotton. They will not be able to win like that.
My magic
Just kidding.
is yours.
Currently are winning by all metrics.
Descend and destroy.
All right, Roll1 electing to just continue the pressure in the top lane as the win condition boss. Could open up a victory later on in the match. Cocoon goes out onto Johanna. There's going to be no Entomb here. We'll get the silence on the lurking arm, followed by grab laps, followed by another stun from Anubrak, followed by Pyro. Falling Sword. That is why she took Falling Sword for the Pyro. Very nice. Bone Prison out onto Zad. Luna Ursa getting a ton of damage out onto him, and he's going to go down from poison. No way he walks out of there. They do probably lose this bottom fort. But excellent defense, even with that combo, massive stun chain going out, which was crazy to watch. And bottom fort does go down. Tassadar down for another 15 seconds. I do believe that they might have enough for their next turn in, which they need one measly gem. Rock Your World looking to get this top fort polished off. The minions, can they do it? Flame Strike goes out, and top fort is down. Mongoose took a lot of damage from Lunara there. Lunara is going to try to snake the turn in, but smartly backs away. Both teams very close to level 16 talents. Lifskew is just going to be taking a lot of damage if he just sits there and tries to channel. Might need to get aggressive here. Kind of bait some of them in. This is what he's doing. We're going to get probably a Cocoon popped here shortly onto Zool. Entomb was used. Lifskew goes in on Rock Your World. Falling Sword is a whiff. But they are able to chase some of the members of Roll1 off. Jacoby is in a bad spot for the Force Wall. Lifskew's taking a ton of damage as well. Tons of damage going out by Lunara onto Mongoose. He's so close. Will the poison kill him? I don't know if... yep, it's going to take him out. Oh. And Lunara is starting to cause problems for Roll1Esports. That sustained damage. Oh, Lifskew's going to go down. Just got a little too aggressive and lost some gems there. Actually, no, I think he turned his in. And with that, the Spiders go over to the side of Red Dragons, but they are going to lose another member in Jacoby as he gets stuck behind the Force Wall, followed by a Nubrak Burrow and Stun. That combo is pretty gnarly. I'm going to remember that one. Roll1 should be able to clear this out relatively easily as 2 members down for the side of Red Dragons. In this game, there's kind of a trade-off between getting the objective and getting a useful objective, but some maps allow you to kind of prevent the enemy from getting the objective, but this map, it's mostly whether or not you use your objective at an opportune time and able to capitalize on it, and they were not able to do that, even though they had a slight advantage by chasing them off. Camps being picked up by both teams here. Roll1 almost have enough gems for the next turn-in, and no forts stand in the way of their Spiders. We'll see what kind of strategy we see on the side of Red Dragons to answer. 60 gems exactly. Camps meeting in the middle, cleared out immediately by Kel'Thas. Unlike my Division E games, why did that just happen? Red Dragon's doing a great job of not spreading Chain Bomb. First time ever seen in Heroes of the Storm. This Kel'Thas only sitting at about 21,000 damage. Big damage going out. Bone Prison goes out onto Mongoose, who gets deleted, but the Entomb goes out on Orphea. She's not able to escape with her dash, and she gets taken out as well. Jacobia taking a lot of damage. He's got about a quarter left, as does Lifskew. Pyroblast still available. They do have to be careful with that. And Force Wall goes out and just takes, you know, half their health. It's all good. No interrupt. Oh, Lifskew is going to sacrifice. Mongoose will be up shortly. Red Dragons knowing that this is probably going to lead to at least losing all of their keeps, so they're aggressively trying to interrupt these. Falling Sword goes out onto the tank, not necessarily the best option, but Pyroblast does go out onto Johanna. She's able to survive that. And the delay continues. Bad news, Bears, is that Tyrande has no mana, so they are going to have to back off and allow the turn-in to happen. The War of Attrition, won by Roll1Esports. All right, range increased on Flame Strike by Kel'Thas. This delay continues, and finally, they are able to get the turn in. 3 keeps and a core stand in the way of Roll1 and victory. The rewind goes out onto Lunara. It's just such a hard thing to deal with double burrow, double impale. You see a Nubarak aggressively running towards you at level 20. Just get out of there, because you're not going to be able to survive that chain CC. He can close a gap. He can keep you immobile for a good 10 seconds, and by that time, especially with Kel'Thas, you're going to be gone. Lifskew goes in, gets 4 men and women in her W. She does get the web wrap on her. Spider's almost cleared out on this top, even after losing Lunara. So excellent defense there. Probably one of the weaker objectives overall in the game. Lifskew goes in, just gets entombed. This could be the end of him. He does have Falling Sword available. Oh, but he gets chain CC'd and he just could not survive it. There goes the tank for Red Dragons. Take a look at the damage here. Tassadar sitting at 62,000 damage. It's damage that you can't really avoid based on the range and area that it covers. It's just a hard hero to deal with when you don't have someone that can jump on him. All right, Luna Ursa decides to make herself useful and get this camp, as do 3 members of Roll1Esports. Rock Your World sitting aggressively on the side of 4 members rotating in. The Cocoon does go out. This is going to force a fight here in the bottom lane. Johanna is not there. Entomb goes out. Silence goes out. Kira. Orphea does get a backline kill, electing to just say, you know what? I'm not going to just let you do that for free, as Stukov channels his lurking arm, but she does pay dearly, as the rest of the members of Roll1 respond accordingly. Two members down for Red Dragons, and I'm surprised we're not seeing a boss push. Maybe thinking they don't quite have the damage to make it happen quick. Electing to just push mid lane to see if they can get some pressure onto this mid keep. But nothing doing. If you're Red Dragons, your goal is to just get the gems, survive, don't get chain CC'd. I spoke too soon. No one's going to live through that. You get entombed and silenced like that. Black Hole, I think, almost saves Dizzy, which it does. Inopportune usage there. And now Lunara is just going to try to chase down the remainder of the team for roll 1. Yeah, it's like every 60 seconds, roll 1 gets a auto delete based on this entomb, impale, burrow, lurking arm, grav lapse combo. Like one Psy Storm took a fifth of her health, and there it is. Not without payback and revenge. Orpheus able to drop her ult and remove Mongoose from the map, but she does get blown up by the combo we've been talking about. And this CC is just too much to deal with right now. Johanna goes in with Falling Sword to try to save Jacobia, but does have to use her trait. And now we see roll 1 just back off. We did see a little sneaky turn-in going on for Red Dragons, as they just need to turn in 10 more gems to get the turn-in. This may be their opportunity as Jacobia moves in to get the turn-in. Ah, he should have just kept going. And guess what's going to happen here? Chain CC, rewind, cocoon. Falling Sword to escape. And that may do it, folks. Lunara gets burrowed in on, stunned, finished off by Mongoose with that wet, sloppy mop. Sloppy moppy. Or if you're taking a ton of damage from Psy Storms. She was 100% health. And now we see massive core damage going out onto the core for Roll1Esports. About 30 seconds or less away from victory and the 2-0 sweep in this match. Definitely a much better game by Red Dragons. In the end, the combo in this Entomb, stuck in the pain bathroom, you know. That reminds me of high school right there. You can figure out which one I was, Leoric or Tyrande. All right, let's take a look at them stats. All right. Oh, a little bit on the lighter side, but beats his average by 1,000, 54,000 damage. But Tassar sitting at 89,000 top damage for Tyrande on Red Dragons, as well as 79,000 healing, but just didn't have the sustain with the heals. She also didn't die, which is pretty impressive with that comp that she was playing against. All right. As we get in here, we'll see if we can try to get a member of Roll 1 in on the interview. Stand by shortly and we'll have that to you. But there you have it. Roll1Esports picking up the 2-0 win. And looks like we'll be getting Mongoose over here in the chat, which will be pretty fun. We'll see where he wants to chat. Mongoose.
What's up, my man?
All right. Congrats on that victory. How you feeling?
Sweaty because it's really hot here, and that second game was super tight.
That was tight. That was it was a fun match to watch. All right, so this is the third time that I've seen you on the Nova this season.
What? No.
What's going on? Is this
These
is this
wild
your
allegations?
Is this your new main?
I mean, main's a strong word. I can play a lot of heroes,
Yeah.
but we have situations that we like her in. She's not an every game hero, but we have certain criteria that we like her in, and if the criteria is met, we'll take her. That's just kind of basically how it is.
Yeah, very cool. I love seeing Nova. She's my most played hero. I think the first year of HOTS, I played her exclusively, but
Ditto. Yeah, she's one of
yeah.
my higher ones. I love playing her, but I've been a tank and competitive for a long time before the season, and they kept telling me you can't tank on Nova, and I was like, come on, are you
Watch me.
sure?
Well, very nice. Well, that should kind of catapult you guys up into the at least tied for the top of the division. How are you guys feeling this season?
We're having a lot of fun. We've been watching the standings too, and it's been really neat because there have been some of the teams that aren't quite as high taking games off some higher teams, and nobody's undefeated. Everybody's taking points off each other. So I mean, we might be in first or second or whatever, but I know it's really close. And the way these games have gone, I don't I don't think anybody is really safe from anybody else.
Yeah,
It's
it's really cool to
pretty
see
competitive. Yeah.
some competitive teams here in Division C. I think it's the third game I've cast from your division, but um, so talk about. I was comparing you and Poe for a lot of the night damage. Do you guys have a friendly competition every game on who gets the most damage?
No way, because he'll decimate me on the totals. Poe is always going to do more damage than me.
Yeah, they were having a hard time dealing with the Chromie in the first match. Is Tarek Pass a map that you guys like, or is it kind of something that you were left with the bands?
No. It's one of the ones that we have started to like, I should say. There's a few that we like, but teams are starting to take us away. So we were kind of looking at alternate ones, and so far so good. I don't think we're really settled on it, but it's on the radar for sure.
Very nice. Well, let's talk a little bit about game two. So you were doing a little bit of off laning with the Nova, which is you were doing the Lord's work, picking up the experience when you had to. Now you're on Leoric. I want to hear some more about this awesome cocoon, entomb, lurking arm, gravlat. Like nobody can survive the amount of CC you guys were dishing out.
Yeah, I mean, that's partially true. Like Joe can, right? So I mean that all comes down to in-game comms. So everybody knows what everyone else is doing, and we don't overlap those things um, to make sure that everything is put in such a way that even Joe can't get out of it.
Right.
And
It's
there was one time in particular down in the bottom lane where I was calling into him, and he's like, no, wait. And so, Rock called it spot on. He kind of baited out all their stuff, and then the Entomb went out, and it was just a great call. And those are the kind of thing to make the layering of the CC work. It's all on the team comms.
Yeah, it's really cool to watch. Something I definitely want to show some of my teammates because the amount of overlapping stuns we get going is comical. But it's cool to watch that awesome communication and those layered effects because no matter what, she was done unless someone could save her, which didn't really happen. But
I mean,
cool.
the flip side of that is even do a Johanna though. You would rather overlap the stuns than give her a chance to hit her D button, right? So there's kind of
Right.
that fine line um, between those scenarios. So
Well, cool to watch. Definitely entertaining, especially map 2. Were you guys sweating at all? Worried at any point? No boss pickups in that match.
now, our boss burn wasn't particularly good, so we weren't really eyeballing it. With that comp, it would have taken us forever to tear down that boss. So we kind of felt we could basically do just as much structure and map control towards win than we could with a boss. Like if we would have wiped them out, maybe we would have bossed, but we never really did that. So with as slow as our boss burn was, and a falling sword onto boss, or a starfall onto boss, or Orpheus thing onto boss, we didn't want to stand in one point and eat all that
Right.
stuff.
Nice. Well, cool. One last question. You guys did ban out Deathwing a lot. Do you guys just hate playing against Deathwing?
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah. It sucks to lose a game just because you can't deal with that.
We played Clouded Minds last week, and they broke it out, and they just like steamrolled us with it. And
Nice.
we try to do our homework as best we can. We notice those guys play it, and so we're just not going to deal with that.
Very nice. Well, cool. I'll give you the floor for however long you want to talk, shout outs or whatever.
To the caster, always, I appreciate the time you take to cast the game. It's always fun to go back and watch and get that kind of third perspective on it. To the Red Dragons, for a fun set, and also the division in particular has been so good, like we mentioned. So looking forward to getting in there with all the other teams we haven't had a chance to yet. And lastly, but more importantly, the shout out to NGS wives and husbands and spouses that watch the kids and do all the things that allow me to play video games tonight. In tonight in particular, because both of our kids are not feeling great. So Mrs. Mongoose is in the other room with a not in a good mood baby. So that's not fun at all, and I appreciate it.
Very much so. Totally agree. Well, there you have it, folks. There's Mongoose tonight. Thanks for joining us tonight, man. NGS. I love that this community is still thriving, even though this game has been murdered. I love the community.
It hasn't been murdered. It's just been set into a nice coma.
There you go. It's on life support.
All right. Appreciate the cast.
Yep. See ya. All right, folks. There you have it from Mongoose tonight. Very excited about this season over there at Roll1Esports. It's a cool match to watch, especially when it comes to the communication, like he talked about in the CC, and it's really cool to see teams moving and working that well together. And imagine this is Division C, so imagine what you would see up there in the top ranks. So if you're new to NGS, there's all kinds of heroes to check out all the time. If you're new to this channel, thank you for joining me tonight. I love casting these games, and if you enjoyed what you saw and heard, go ahead and hit that like button. It'll let you know when I go live for other casts or other streams. And I would love to have you guys join our growing One More Game podcast community. As I talked about a little bit earlier tonight, every Sunday night at 9 p.m., we podcast about video games. We talk industry news, game releases, game reviews, things we're playing, and then a gaming topic of the night, whether that be the history of PlayStation, gaming and mental health, the toxicity in gaming. We talked about that last week. That was an entertaining one. We talked about Disney video games, all kinds of stuff. So love to have you guys join that. And you can also find those podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else you might find those podcasts. Once again, thanks for joining me tonight. We'll raid out of here over to someone else playing Heroes of the Storm to share the love. But I'd love you guys and all the support. Before I leave you tonight, I'll leave you with one final thought. Just because you have to grow up doesn't mean you have to stop gaming. Game on, gamers, and I'll see you next time in The Nexus.